The debut of James Gunn's Superman has finally arrived, and after watching it twice, I walked out of the theater with something I haven't felt from a superhero film in years: pure optimism. Gunn's take on the Man of Steel doesn't just aim to inspire within the story, it sets a tone for the future of comic book cinema. With its vibrant style, unapologetic embrace of Silver Age charm, and refusal to run from its comic book roots, Superman feels like a statement that these stories aren't going anywhere anytime soon. For years, audiences have been treated to grounded, gritty superhero interpretations, from Christopher Nolan's shadow-drenched The Batman to Zack Snyder's myth-tinged Man of Steel. Gunn's Superman, however, heads in the opposite direction: joyful, colorful, and unabashedly comic booky. It's a reminder that embracing the whimsical side of superhero lore can be just as powerful as leaning into realism. A time when comic book movies weren't everywhere. Younger fans have grown up in an era where superheroes dominate both big and small screens. But there was a time, not so long ago, when these adaptations were rare and often seen as risky investments. In the 80s and 90s, projects like Superman, the movie, or Tim Burton's Batman were the exception, not the rule. Back then, canceled series, abandoned scripts, and unmade adaptations were part of the fan experience. The idea that we'd one day have interconnected universes like the MCU or Arrowverse seemed like a fantasy. The long build to today's cinematic universe era. The early 2000s began shifting the tide. X-Men, Spider-Man, Blade, and later Iron Man, and The Dark Knight helped cement superheroes as bankable entertainment. The shared universe approach proved that sprawling, interconnected storytelling could thrive in live action. But even with this success, many believed the superhero boom would eventually fizzle out. Each time box office numbers dipped or a project underperformed, superhero fatigue headlines made the rounds. Gunn's Superman pushes back against the fatigue narrative. Post-pandemic, comic book movies have faced declining ticket sales and tougher streaming competition. But Gunn's Superman doesn't try to fix the genre by abandoning its identity. It doubles down on what makes these stories special. Here, Superman is unapologetically heroic, charmingly old-fashioned, and free of cynicism. He saves people, pets, and even squirrels without hesitation. He says things like, "golly," without a trace of irony. In Gunn's Metropolis, battling a dimensional imp is just another Tuesday, and the bizarre is treated as completely normal. There's no lengthy explanation for every piece of sci-fi weirdness. The film trusts the audience to simply accept the fantastic. That creative choice feels like a breath of fresh air in a landscape where superhero films often feel obligated to over-explain themselves. Why it feels like the start of something bigger. If Superman connects with audiences, it could spark a broader shift in comic book filmmaking, one where studios lean into the colorful, the strange, and the heartfelt without fear of being too comic book. For longtime fans who remember the drought of superhero content, Gunn's approach is more than nostalgia. It's a promise that these worlds and characters have a long future ahead. Superman isn't just a new chapter for the DC universe. It's a love letter to everything that makes superhero stories endure, and a reminder that sometimes the best way forward is to fly headfirst into what made us love them in the first place.